What up, what up, what up, what up? It's me, L Teddy 27.
What's good tonight? Right about the hood.
Oh, dear God, I'm already eating a drink. Look, a damn mess. Just a damn mess. No means no, and yes means no. What up, 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 what up? What's good, people? What is up? What is up? It's me, I'm L Teddy 27, and I'm back for another review. This is going to be our review for The Real Hot Boys, Houston. This is season 1. It is episode 6. It is entitled Cold Summer. Now, I know, what are you doing, L Teddy? What do you have on? Every now and again, I could dress it up a little bit. I do it on my NFL picks every week. But literally, I'm getting ready for work. And I'm doing this video as I am preparing for work. And so, I decided to kill two birds with one stone. So as soon as I finish recording, I can get up and dash to work and then edit if I have a little bit of time at work. So yeah, we're gonna do all of this. This is what we're given today at work. Anyway, bow tie of the day, blue blazer, plain white shirt. I don't really have to iron it because I got a blazer. So where's my lapel pin? Shoot. Anyway, I'll find it. Oh, it's in the car. So what's up, y'all? Let's get to it. Let's talk about these real hot boys Houston who have had us waiting since God was a child. For this episode to come out, dear God. I mean, Jesus. I mean, Todd, I love you down. A girl, dog, girl. I mean, motherfuckers have been born, lived, and died in the amount of time that we've been waiting for the second half of this season. Well, I can't even, I'm gonna have to fix this in the mirror when I get in the car. All right. So, let's talk about this. They still in Atlanta. August, Braylon, Sherrod, Kenny meets up with Ford and December, and they go out to the club or whatever. Oh, before I get there, y'all ain't fooling nobody. Production. I noticed how y'all conveniently changed DeAndre's nickname from the introvert to the loner now. Y'all ain't fooling nobody. I caught it. I saw it. Did anybody else see it? I saw it. Anyway, moving on. Kenny and Ford have some rap battle. Girl, as a connoisseur of all things rap, real rap, not this trash they have out here today, real lyricists, and not the garbage that they, cart out there today in the music industry. I was with Kenny on this because Ford tried to come out there like she had turned it like she was the next, Rakim, or like she was the next KRS-One or some shit. Like she had to gave us out like, and he was like, girl, Kenny gave me by the car. He was like, girl, you ain't heard nothing. Girl, you ain't turned nothing. You done spent a month and a half in your house trying to put together a few lyrics that is borderline trash, and you came out here like you had to just turn it. Girl, you ain't turned nothing. Baby Kenny was so unimpressed. He was like, girl, sit down somewhere. He was like, girl, I don't have it to do with you. He said, I just dabble around and play around. And clearly that's what you do, but you try to make yourself a whole rap artist. Girl, get your life. Kenny, it gave me life when you shaded her, honey. Because he really like, girl, did you really say you farted? Girl, nobody wants any parts of your farts. Girl. I mean, one might say every time that woman opens her mouth, she farts. But I ain't going to hate on Ford. This ain't his show. So I'm going to leave it alone, honey. Anyway, honey. Kenny also looked high as a giraffe's coochie in these confessionals for the one that he did when they were in LA. Baby mama girl looked like she had to smoked all of the ganja, the weed, the purple haze, the hippie lettuce, all of it. The marijuana, the reefers. Okay? Mama was high in that confessional. Then they cut away to DeAndre, who's still in Houston. He says he's working on bettering himself. Shouts out to production for giving us our gratuitous look at a half naked as DeAndre, melanin dripping all off his body, Child, all of that chocolatey goodness popping all out the screen. Dear God. He got a boyfriend now named Jordan. Not to be confused with the Jordan that's already on the show, but he has a boyfriend named Jordan. August and Kenny, back in Atlanta, they invite Ford and December back to the hotel. Now, I'm not going to lie, y'all. The way this was looking, you got Kenny sitting in between Ford's legs because Ford is basically straddling. I mean, he's basically riding for damn near. I thought that this was going to be the 2021 edition of The Fuck House by Breeded Raw. Like, I really thought that's what was about to go on. I can't say that it didn't happen because who knows what the fuck happened when the cameras went off. It looks like it was probably pretty high. It probably was a great time had by all. And if there is some footage, y'all hit me up and let me know. But Ken, the way Kenny was sitting in between Four's legs and the way Four was up on that woman's back, I can't say that I didn't envision in my head Four being on Kenny's back later that night or earlier. I don't know. I don't know. Just saying. Go back and look. But baby, I just knew this was going to be the 2021 edition of The Fuck House, brought to you by Breed It Raw. Anyway, back to where we were. Who is this random person named Stroke that was just in the room, just chiming in and talking? Girl, who are you? And why are you here? Girl, get your life. Her voice kind of annoyed me. I was like, girl, shut up. Just shut up. Just shut up. Um, what else happened? Cause it was just a bunch of just blah 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 stuff. But I was with Kenny. Now, this is the part that I did want to say. I was with Kenny on this. Now, what the fuck you not gonna do is be my friend. We close. We talk all of the time because they said that DeAndre and Kenny at one point were really close. They talked all the time, this, that, and the third. And if I'm close with you like that, and I'm talking to somebody, or I'm in some type of relationship, or even if I'm courting somebody and me and you close, I'm probably going to tell you about that. I'm probably going to talk to you about that. By no means and no stretch of the imagination should you ever think it's okay at any point in this lifetime or the next lifetime that you should have any parts of trying to be in a relationship with somebody that I told you I was talking with. Bitch, bitch, you were asking for me to send you anthrax and kill you. Bitch, you crazy. Now, DeAndre, I love you down now. Love you and all your chocolate and goodness. But I had to go with Kenny on this. Kenny was not wrong. Bitch, you are not finna sit in my face. Listen to me go on and on and on and hear all the stories about how great it is, how wet that pussy is, how big his dick is, and how his dick is my second hole, and how when I suck his dick, I make sure that I spit wash his nuts at the same time. How I like the way he licks my belly button. How I like the way he strokes my nipples with the rubby little bumps on his tongue. You're not gonna be listening to all that. You're not gonna listen to how I tell you how I love how he dropped me off to work or I drop him off to work. I love how he gave me an extra. You're not gonna be listening to all of the intimate details. You're not gonna listen to me when I'm angry about him and saying that bitch made me mad today. He farted in the bed when we was in the bed and that shit was stank as fuck and I got mad and I kicked him out of bed and told him to leave my house. I'm not gonna be telling you all of these intimate stories. And you my friend. And as soon as me and that person get to another rocky place, you take that as your opportunity to slide in the DMs and slide into them or them slide into you. I'm just saying. Now, I'm not saying that's exactly how it happens, but what I am saying is at the moment that young man said, oh, even if you didn't know, but at the moment that young man said, oh, I used to talk to Jordan. I mean, I used to talk to Kenny. That should have been like, oh, I'm sorry, but it's not going to be able to work out. You owe it to your friends to do that. I've had that happen with a friend, and the friend did end up breaking it off. But they knew about it, they continued to try to, develop a relationship, and that pissed me off, and it kind of brought some distance between me and that friend. Now, the only good part about it was me and that friend had been friends for like decades at that point, so it wasn't to a place where it was unsalvageable, where we couldn't come back and have a come to Jesus moment and make it all better. But Kenny and DeAndre haven't been friends that long. And so I'm with Kenny like, oh, that's how you roll. That's how you play. And once you found out, you just kept going. Okay, girl, I'm good. Girl, any further conversation will involve my vial of anthrax that I'm going to send over here to you, to your house, okay? This is good vial of anthrax. Anyway, we then go to DeAndre. He goes on a date with his boyfriend Jordan, and we did get to see the boyfriend. He's a dark-skinned guy, attractive guy, had the little beard and things going on, slim guy, nice-looking guy. I mean, cute guy. For me personally, I would never bring somebody I'm dating in a relationship with, married to, not on screen. If they're not a part of this show, they're never coming on screen. That's just me and my own personal thing. Even here on my YouTube channel. When I did have a boyfriend, he was never. on camera. Never. There was never any. You ain't never see his arm, his leg. The most y'all ever saw was that time when I was in the middle of a live and he came in and opened the door because he had a key and opened the door and y'all couldn't even hear him, but he gave me the look like, bitch, shut that shit down and get off. And guess what I did? Y'all know what I did? Shut that shit down and got the fuck off. And when it took care of my bed. But my own personal thing is because once you open that door and bring him on camera, I think sometimes people put too much out there on social media. I think, and that opens it up to people criticizing or critiquing or talking about it. And then people get defensive when people talk about it or critique it. When if you had just let that be something that you just have that was private for you, you wouldn't have to be subjected to that. And even if you had to be subjected to that, then you could go in and let have on that person because you could say, wait a minute, my boyfriend ain't on camera. My husband ain't on camera. My boo ain't on camera. He's off limits. Don't talk about him. And if you do, bitch, I'll fuck you up. But once you bring them on screen, you open it up to now people can, talk about them and criticize them or say different things. I'm not saying that's what I'm going to do, but what I'm saying is I personally would never bring somebody on camera. Just wouldn't. Anyway, he said he wrote a song for him, about him, not for him, but about him. And the song about his boo is called Drown Me. Now, I'm going to just let that resonate right there for a little bit. Because I needed y'all to get the mental pictures in your brain like I just got. All right. Moving on. Back in Atlanta, Archie, Ashton, Lemus, and Jordan, the other Jordan, the Jordan is actually on the show, went out to eat some crabs, and Jordan's boyfriend was there. Um, and they talk. Listen, and this is when we finally got to see Ashton confessional list in a confessional. Listen, my favorite highlight of this show is Ashton in confessionals. That's the best part of the show. Ashton's confessionals are what keeps the show going. Now I know a whole lot of people got a whole lot to say about who's running the show, who's not running the show, who makes the show lively, who is making it. I'm not gonna get into all of that in between. But what I will say for me is I'm not saying that Ashton is running the show or running the girls. But what I am saying is that the most enjoyable part of the show is always Ashton's confessionals. Because in the confessionals, he's going to go in and let out. Listen, he never disappoints. Listen, when I tell you, Mama Girl never disappoints in the confessional. Can I get an episode with just seamless, transitions between confessionals of Ashton? It'll make for great television or great viewing. I'm just saying. Shouts out to Ashton. Um, Kenny has a brunch and invites everybody to the brunch, but everybody ain't come. It was a lot going on, but nothing going on at the same time. But at one point, okay, Kenny and Sherrod is down there twerking for Jesus and dropping it low. That's what you see in my thumbnail. Part of that where Kenny starts to pull his pants down and show his semi see-through underwear. And you see and in the picture in my thumbnail, Sherrod takes his hand and I don't know if he puts something in Kenny's ass, wiped something off Kenny's ass, but his hand was in Kenny's ass. I'm just saying. Anyway, and then Kenny had the nerve, the unmitigated gall, the audacity to say, "Oh, well, there goes my trade image." Wait, what? Kenny? Love you down. I don't have no problem with Kenny. I like Kenny. But Kenny girl. Kitty girl, kitty girl, girl. Kitty girl, we did not think he was nobody's trade. Neither did we think he was nobody's top. At best, verse. If I stretch, maybe if I stretch, I might give you verse top. I'll stretch and give you verse top. But you do know that we had already deduced that you like to have spoons dipped into your sugar bowl, right? We had already. I mean, I don't think there's anybody, even DeAndre, who professes that he's the top, and Archie, who professes that he's the top. They profess to be straight tops. You ain't gonna get me to believe that they had a spoon dipped into their sugar bowl every now and again. I'm just telling you, everybody on the cast. I ain't saying that they complete bottoms. I definitely ain't giving them no complete tops either. Child, girl, child. Anyway, now I really. After that, they started talking, and Kenny went on and on and on and on and on and on, and I was like grasping at straws, trying to figure out what really was being talked about. Like I was confused, and because I didn't know what was being talked about, I didn't have a vested interest and so it just kind of lingered on and labored on, and I was like, and so for Kenny to oftentimes say that he is very blunt with his words, he wasn't being very direct here. He was being very indirect, beating around the bush, not hitting the target, but hitting all around the target. And maybe that is because of editing. Maybe we didn't see a lot because a lot of it was edited out. But I just sat there as a viewer, like, I just don't feel vested in what's being talked about because I really am not clueless as to what's being talked about. And here's where you run into an issue. If it takes somebody coming afterwards in the confessional to explain what's happening, as opposed to us figuring out or seeing what happened, and then the confessional simply highlighting what happened or gave you a little more insight into what was going through that person's mind, it's going to be a problem because confessionals should not be our method of finding out what happened or knowing the storyline. The actual footage and content should, and the confessional should just be an enhancement, just give you further footnotes or insights into it. And a lot of times in these situations on the show, the confessional ends up being a place where they have to explain what's going on because the footage just doesn't do that for us. And I feel like this was one of those times. Like I was like, I still am not sure what's going on. Like he was like, we all need to come on here, come at my house, and each one of y'all gonna tell who you see it for, who you don't see it for, who you like, who you don't like, who you friends with, who you not friends with, who you fucked, who fucked you, who you want to fuck, who you want to fuck you, who gonna have a meetup after this, and y'all gonna have a whole bust down, who me and Sherrod gonna have our next threesome or foursome. Like, girl, we were doing all of that, but I need to go back to the crux of what got us here. What was the situation that got us here? Is it all about DeAndre stealing your boyfriend or whatever? If that's the case, then everybody didn't need to be here for that. Is it a different situation with the other Jordan? Because they keep mentioning situations with the other Jordan, and I still don't know what that situation is. I don't know. Yeah, I am confusion. I am confusion. It went on from there. Listen, I am confusion. I am confusion. I am confusion. Like I don't understand. I'm so confused. Although I do want, if you have the footage of the hotel room in Atlanta when it got ready to do the bust down or the bust downs, let me know. That's all I got, y'all. Until next time, thank y'all for coming. Y'all drive safely. I'm out.